Hello? Hello, everybody. Happy Thursday. Good morning. You're very welcome to today's live stream. We pretty much finished our Navigraph Academy, the virtual PPL. We're going to be getting started here in a few moments. It's a solo cross-country flight, going to be taking us out of St. Gallen, and we're going to ramble over to Zurich in our trusty owl Cessna 172. And I've had a lot of fun with the owl Academy. Dodge has been great, you know. So today it's all about, well, us doing our thing. There's a couple of waypoints that we have to follow, but by and large, we just need to fly from point to point, and we need to do it in, I think, under an hour and 30 or an hour and 45 minutes. We can do that. A little bit later on, we're going to preview our VATSIM flight, the last of our US series. We're going to be flying out of Ontario in California over to Albuquerque. And again, that's looking forward to that. We're going to be flying in the PMDG 737-800. We have all our wind control gear and the stuff and the things of many as we, do our flight. I hope you're looking well, do you know? What time is it here now? It's just after 11. 8 degrees, right, here live from Tipperary. And, well, tomorrow, lads, is to get to -1. -1, and then it's to be like -3 on Saturday. Right. It's a great part of the week. I love Thursdays. Thursdays are like, right, I have a little bit left to do, and then we're kind of, let the hair down. Well, what's left of it, do you know? But, yeah, that's kind of the jazz. With these morning streams, of course, if you have any questions relating to flight simulation or aviation or, well, anything really, but do be sure to ask. Because, it's kind of a chilled out kind of a, the quieter streams where we can kind of just, ramble on for ages. So, that's what it's all about, right? We're doing something new this morning. Don't know how it's working yet, but we're live also for the first time, officially, on TikTok. Yes. So we're here on Twitch, of course, YouTube with 2 streams, and we've one now on TikTok. So wherever it is you're tuning in from, well, a very good morning from Tipperary, and I hope you're keeping well. And I look for those who did platforms, I went about moving things last night, me camera, other cameras and stuff. Do you ever move something and it doesn't go back quite where you had it the first time, and you're going, why does that look so odd? And you can't remember how you set it up. That's where I'm at today. But anyway, after this lesson, we have our virtual PPL. Yes, we do. We've completed phase 1, and this is the final part of phase 2. And then we're just waiting on Navigraph then to be able to push out the next phases, which is going to be instrument flying, and then we're going to be doing some IF4 approaches. But that content, well, we don't know yet. I'm hoping we'll get a bit of news from Navigraph at FS Weekend over in the Netherlands, which is happening next month. So, that could be absolutely brilliant. Do you know, that could be great to find out what they're doing. But yes, let's see what happens. We're over here now. Who's here? Look, joining us in the chat this morning. A very good morning to you. Idle Cutoff. He says, good morning, Cambridge calling. Hello from Tipperary. It's good to see you, man. 98 Vulcan, very good evening. Hope you're well. Creo, he says, good morning, Murph and Fireflies from a sunny County Mayo. Creo, hope all is well in the County of Mayo. You're very welcome aboard. Norse Viking is here. Good morning. DK Funfly, hope all is well. I'm Pierce. Good morning to you. He says, good morning. Well, I say good, but looking out the window, I'm not so sure. It's not actually terribly awful here. It's cloudy and it's cold, but it's not terribly awful. So we'll see how we get on there. Crafty Tigers, good morning. APU Inspector is here. Spitfire RAF 100 is here in the chat. A very good morning to you too. A couple of folks rambling in over on TikTok. A very good morning to you. Hope all is well. T-Sac is here. What's my rate of instruction? Oh, shit. A pint of Guinness, APU, thank you for 155 streams in a row, buddy. Malky Mac, a very good morning to you. Hope you're well. Stu Snape is here. He says, morning, Murph. I'm hiding in a room in the office, so can sneak a watch for a bit. Say nothing to no one, and if anyone asks, you are doing an online symposium. You're learning about trees and grass. Horticulture. Trees. You're learning about the trees. You used to pay 15 US an hour in 1978. It's about 220 quid an hour. here in Ireland, at least, for PPL training. It is very expensive. But anyway, David Bay is here, good morning, hoping to VATSIM with us tonight. If I let Murph push back in front of me again, I'm doing a single engine taxi to save fuel. Thank you very much, David. Listen, it was grand, you know. It should be fine. Bell Bro, good morning. Hope you're doing very well. Sim Guy is here. Hope you're having a great morning, dude. Tarnish Mossman, top of the morning to you, buddy. Hayden UK. A very good morning to Hayden from, well, the Hayden UK Empire. Hope all is well and things are going tickety-boo. It's great to see you, buddy. Zith is here. -1 and -3. Maybe the rain will stop. Because if it doesn't, I'm pretty sure the Raptor is next. Yeah, right. The weather's shocking, Zith. Epic Fool. Murph, I had a horrible thought this morning. Imagine if Discord does self-implode and you'd have to move to a whole new server. That would be a pain in that part of the body that we all know but just don't mention. Jesus. Epic, why would... Like, what? Ooh, right. The Impossible Phase, you're very welcome in. And yes, F125, currently discounted for anyone who's looking at picking up F125. You can pick it up for like 20 quid now, which is great. You know, you can pick it up for 20 quid. So yeah, we'll see what the story is there. Hanger Studios is here. Good morning to you, buddy. Hope all is well. Did Murphy just look into the hallway to check the weather? We see I have a direct line of sight through the hallway into the living room to the outside. There's a small little gap. It's like being in prison, you know. I'll always remember the words my father said to me when I was in prison. Hello, son. Yeah, brilliant, right? Brilliant joke. Billy Connolly, lads, brilliant. But anyway, Toombs, hope you're well. Good morning. Let me see here now. T-Sac says, we were using 87 octane leaded fuel in 1978. Jeez, Greta wasn't happy with that. Do you know, where's this now? 60% off. It's too savage, isn't it? Stray Master, good morning. Hope all is well. Memphis Ton. A very good morning to you. Let me say, it's kind of busy. It's great to see so many people here this morning. Dave Cleary, legend Dave. Welcome in, Dave. Patrick AV is in the house. Hope you're well. Tazzy does. Good to see you, man. Mr. Anderson himself, you're very welcome aboard. Jace Ward is here. Good morning. John C. doing a flight right now, flying in the A320 Neo. Nice. Derfras is here. Morning, sir. Happy days. Both working from home, and I'm already on a crisp Desperado in sunny Spain. Fantastic. The great news. Great news. Where is this now? Because the whole Face ID thing, Discord will be requiring minor political undertones. Moving on. No, it's not actually that bad, Epic. It only really affects one channel on our Discord. Right? So, yeah, we'll see, man. We'll see. Let me see. I want a refund of 60% of the time. Yeah. 60% of the time. Wait, did it not work? Oh, wait, why didn't that work? Balls. Wait, hang on. How do we fix this now? Ready! No, that wasn't the right button at all. Why aren't alerts working? We ask. They should be. They're turned on. Oh no, hang on. Oh, why were they off? I turned them off. I wonder will it replay? Hang on there now. Be the Janie. Is it Streamlabs or Stream Elements? I can't remember what the buttons do. Oh jeez. Wait, hang on. I can do it this way using additional science. Wait. Oh, Jesus, that's the wrong button. Wait now. Actions and cues. Actions. Wait now.
They've done studies.
Can I get a refund?
No, take off.
60% of the time, it works every time.
Right. Brilliant.
Look at this big Aegis.
Listen. Just calm it down, right? Calm it all down. 60% of the time, it works every time. You must have hit that 40%. Wait, what? It affects the best channel. Wait, what? It's grand. It'll do. Right, now, see the way I fixed that? Using nothing but science and charm and, you know, my boyish good looks. Still have a cold sore. It's back. Look. Hang on. I have a button here to zoom in. I could lose the whole head, I'd say. Yeah, right, we need to be careful. But anyway, am I being creative today? Let's not go there. Lusty, good morning. Hope you're well. Who else come in the door here now? Alien Blood. How's she cutting? Hope all is well. Right, anyway, we're going to get into this. It's a solo cross-country flight. It's up to us. Yes, we're all terribly important now, where we have to do this flight ourselves. So we're going to be looking at some Navigraph, checking out the mappage. We're going to read up on the lesson, what's required of us, and then figure out, well, what it is we're going to do. Sounds very wonderful, doesn't it? Let's see what happens. Look at the state of that joke. Who are you shifting at the midweek disco? Right, in a terrible, isn't it? It started off last week as like, I've a sore lip, you know. And then I was like to the missus, I've a sore lip. And the first thing she said, of course, who are you kissing? I was like, you? Right. Terrible. And then now today, well, it was very bad on Monday. Tuesday, I was all right. Wednesday, which was yesterday, it was sore. But, you know, then I woke up this morning, I was like, you know. Anyway, I'm run down, lads. You know, and we just say we're run down. Yeah, Murph, you ran off your feet there. You know, you poor old devil, you know, all the activity and things. You know what I mean? But anyway, right, you're very welcome to this screen. And well, what we're going to be doing here, friends, we are going to be focusing on our next lesson, right? Our next lesson and our final lesson. So we'll bring up the old page. So here we go with our solo cross-country navigation. Now, we've covered quite a lot when it comes to Navigraph and all the courses. If we go back into the course catalogue, well, we can see right here from our virtual PPL, private pilot license, and we've started off with phase 1. And this is all for free, by the way. Access to this is free. You don't need any subscription. So from 0 to solo, we started off with the introduction and aircraft familiarization, the effects of the controls. Then we went into level flight and turns. Then we did climbs and descents, stalls and dive to max speed, slow flight and the use of flaps, takeoff, landings, the traffic pattern, and then we did our very first solo, in which we did 3 circuits, right? 3 patterns, which was 2 touch and goes and a 1 full stop landing. Then we moved on to phase 2, and this is all kind of covering that of visual navigation, in which we covered ground operations. That's basically trying to force ourselves to start using checklists, right? Because usually in a flight sim, we just want to jump in and go flying, press a couple of buttons and woof, off we go. And Microsoft Flight Sim is actually very good for that because there's so much going on outside your window. You just have beautiful scenery, right? However, when it comes to, when it comes to actually flying and you want to simulate what it's like to fly, well, that's where your checklists come in, right? The next lesson then, we did a bit of local navigation, understanding visual reference points. That's what they're called, visual reference points. Things like a bridge, a forest, a lake, right? So when we're doing our flight plan, we're able to kind of, oh, look, I'm going to fly over this thing. And then you look out the window and then you see it. Hayden, you absolute legend, gifting the tier 1 sub over to Epic Fool. Hayden, you're very kind. Cheers, buddy. So the local navigation stuff, very, very important to kind of just keep going over. When you look at a map, and we're going to do it here today, when you're looking at a map and figuring out, hey, where are we going to go flying? Do you know, there's no signs in the air. There's no road signs up there. Oh, look, we're approaching Cork. It doesn't happen, right? So we need to figure out what's on the ground and we can navigate to it. Now, you might say, Murph, what do you do if it's cloudy? Well, that's why for visual flight rules, VF4, there are rules that are attached to flying visually. Then you have IF4, which is instrument flight rules. So any pilot starting off, they will start with visual flight rules first. And the reason why they do that, it teaches you flying, the practicalities of actually flying the aircraft, understanding it, the systems, and then just navigating visually by looking out the window. 90% of your eyesight is outside of the airplane, 10% is inside. Then when you jump over to IF4, 90% of your eyes are going to be, or of your gaze is going to be inside the aircraft, watching your navigation equipment, compass, VOR, all that kind of jazz. And then maybe 10% then is outside glancing, right? So it's a very totally different type of flying altogether. So there's rules attached to both. With VF4, we have what's called VF4 or weather minimum or minima, right? Basically, these are rules. There's slight changes between Europe and North America, but by and large is you must maintain a certain distance away from clouds, both vertically and horizontally, right? And then there are certain rules when it comes to visibility, if there's haze or fog or bad weather, all this kind of jazz. So when we consider that the weather plays such an important role, well, that's why there is an entire module just on the weather, right? Meteorological conditions when it comes to real world flying. And I left them upstairs, but I have all my original pilot training books. Like there's 7 or 8 of them, and they're huge. They're huge. But there's a lot of great information. And the good news is, well, they don't really change much. You know what I mean? If there's any kind of new procedures there, perhaps, or new technology tends to kind of change what we can and what we can't do when it comes to flying. So that's where kind of navigation comes into it. And for me, navigation is one of the biggest things of flight simming, because it's the biggest sandbox ever, because it's the world. An entire replication of planet Earth on a 1-to-1 scale. What a sandbox, right? So you can literally go anywhere you want. So we progressed from local navigation to then doing our first cross-country navigation. And we did that last week, where we flew out of Albuquerque and we headed over to Innsbruck, one of the most famous approaches in the world. Beautiful. And by doing so, we were following lakes. There were some maybe features of, like, you know, say cliffs or coastline, forests, roads, intersections, railways, power stations, this kind of stuff. So that's how we navigate across our cross-country thing, right? Because not all flights start and finish from the same airport. You want to do cross-country flying. So we move on to now today, which is our solo cross-country, meaning it's just us. We need to figure this one out all on our own. Which will be fine, right? We hope. Where's this now? I know when I am run down, I have tire tracks over me, right? Darn it. At the next cloud, turn left. 100%. 100%. Forsec Shark, good morning to you, buddy. Filthy is here. DeBlaze, welcome in. And Linny, paused minitten to be here. Good morning, and I hope you're all keeping very, very well. Great to see you guys. You look well. You look great. You know, I don't know what it is, but visually, you look stunning, you know. The font, yeah, perfect, you know. But anyway, so we're going to get into our first, or our final lesson, and this is the solo cross-country. So, from Navigraph, you've made it. After extensive training, you've built the skills to fly confidently, to plan routes with care, and to handle your aircraft in every situation we've thrown at you. Now, it's time for your final test, your solo cross-country to Zurich. Ooh. This time, we're on our own, right? No instructor beside us, no video briefing, no step-by-step prompts. Instead, we're going to draw on everything that we've learned thus far. How to read the charts, pick waypoints, choose altitudes, the time legs, how long should it take us at this speed to get from this point to that point, right? And also how to handle the aircraft, which is today our Cessna 172. So, a handful of visual checkpoints will have to be crossed, but beyond that, the flight is entirely in your hands. Every decision, every correction, every navigation choice will be ours to make. This is kind of exciting, right? You look creatively refreshed, Merv. Thank you to Blaze in my creative space. I bothered to shave this morning. Good man, the impossible face. That's great news. Top Gun Glenny is in the house. A very good morning to you. Malky says, I may or may not have had me finger slip last night, and now I have the PMDG 777. Oops. Yeah, that's a big oops. My hand slipped. I've no idea what happened. Oh, Jesus. But yes, great news. Great news. Let me see here now. Commander Balosh, a very good morning to you. Ding ding. Is it a ding or is it a ping? You know, I couldn't tell you. Right, how are we looking over here? I'm unsure are things working the way they should be, you know. Hang on now. Checking for update. I'm trying to update my watch here in the background. It says verifying, which is good news. Now, while that's doing this, hang on, we'll try some science here. Because I want to see is all this stuff working, right? How do we do this now, Murph? If I were to press buttons and do a search, yes. Do a search a second time. This says I'm live, look. Can I hear me? Second time. This says I'm live, look. Ah, brilliant, it's me watching me with me. Turn that shagging agent down. But yeah, so if you're on TikTok, ramble over and say hello. Now, is my watch done? It looks done, doesn't it? Let's see here now. Oh no, my watch isn't done. Well, she's turning on, so maybe we're okay. We'll stick the watch back on. Let me see now. Flynn Ryder, good morning. Hope you're well. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to this, lads. There's going to be a bit, right? The route is going to take us across some of Switzerland's most scenic landscapes, right? With lakes, valleys, and the approach into Zurich itself as our grade finale. It's going to be both a celebration of how far we've come and also the final gateway to earning your virtual private pilot's license. Take a deep breath. Trust your training and enjoy this moment. This is your flight, your plan, and your achievement. By completing it, you'll prove to yourself that you're ready to fly anywhere. Brilliant, right? Remotivated now, you know. Do I fly in real life? I have from time to time, yes. Not an awful lot, though. I know enough about flying to know, I know real life flying to know I know nothing about real life flying. You know, I have a few hours, but nothing to write home about. But anyway, today we're planning this on our own. Our only constraints. The route must pass by some specific checkpoints, and we need to make sure the route does not take longer than an hour and 45 minutes to complete. You are free to plan your extra waypoints and choose your altitudes and power settings at our discretion, as long as we pass the below landmarks in the given order. So, we're going to be departing out of runway 28, heading westbound, and our first waypoint is Point Zulu. Fair enough. Then we're going to pass the train station at St. Gallen, passing overhead the train station itself. Then we need to fly overhead the big turnpike in Sargans, right? A large turnpike forms the shape of an infinity sign in the Swiss town of Sargans. We need to overfly that. Then we need to overfly the Linth River outlet that goes into Lake Zurich. On the eastern shoreline of Lake Zurich, outflow dikes for the River Linth forms your final required waypoint by heading up to Zurich airport itself. Then, when we get to Zurich, we're going to land on runway 28 and we're expected to make our way to Sector 6 for parking. This apron is located on the northeastern side of the airfield. Okay, brilliant. Let's see what happens. So we're going to plan this flight. So here's Navigraph charts. I use Navigraph charts for all of this, right? Well, I use it for all my flight simming because this is the most powerful application you have when it comes to navigation inside of a flight sim. Hello there. Hands down, it just is, right? Let me see now. Wimmy Lou, good to see you. Thank you for the follow. So what we have here is it's a moving map. We've access to worldwide global coverage for IF4. They've even included VF4 charts now, which is absolutely brilliant. Right? Brilliant stuff. So we have all these things here now, right? This is just excellent. If you're on the fence about should you have Navigraph, if you want to take your flying to the next level, Navigraph kind of introduced, it was Charts 8 a couple of years ago, and for the first time they started looking at VF4 aviation, right? VF4 flying. And what made this absolutely incredible was our type of flying, right? What we tend to fly in most often is general aviation. You know, things like little Cessnas, Pipers, Beechcraft, this kind of stuff. And whilst Navigraph was always there and very applicable to the airliners, didn't really suit the general aviation part because, you know, of course you can fly your Cessna 172 IF4. Of course you can. There's no point. It's too slow. You can't see anything. You know what I mean? So, yeah, this is just incredible. So when they came out with Charts 8, they included VF4. And since then, they've really been pushing more and more data towards VF4, which is absolutely awesome to see because we have now VF4 charts. We have coverage under the FAA with sectionals for North America, for the US. We also have the European charts, and we also have VF4 information onto the charts as well. And we can edit all of this. We can kind of say, hey, this is here, this isn't here. This kind of stuff, right? So what we have here is, well, if we zoom in and we can change what the map looks like. I mean, it's a map of the world, you know. But the CPU is screaming at me. But anyway, we'll go in here. We're going to be starting off from runway 28. So what I'll do, I'm just going to move this gadget up here because, well, we can exit the pattern off the base of runway 28. All right. So when we depart out of Alta-Rhine, runway 28, we're going to be flying westerly, and then we're going to head down to the south a little bit, right? And there are I've named the waypoints that we must intercept. So St. Gallen train station is one of them. So I'm trying to set up additional waypoints along the way, right? So what we're going to try and do here is use VF4 flying. So see the way I have a little marker here? I have a marker at Zulu because we must intercept Zulu. Now, the easiest way to intercept Zulu, I mean, yes, we can try and fly across and look for that kind of bend in the road. What I'd suggest, this is a feature on the ground. It's a mad spaghetti junction. We'll see this from the air because, well, if we decide to fly over it, we'll see multiple bridges and roads. And if you look down closely, there's a bit of rail in there as well. So if we use this as our first visual reference point, then we get to Zulu, because as we follow one of the roads, we're going to see that bend. We can see that from the sky, right? And then we continue on in, and we're heading then to St. Gallen's train station. We're going to overfly the train station. That should be relatively easy to pick up, because as we fly into the town, we'll follow the tracks, and then the tracks will get multiply bigger, right? Because there's more of them as they approach into a train station, all right? Did this watch update? Let's see here now. Welcome to my watch. Your Apple Watch is up to date with the latest bug fixes. Well, it hasn't turned on yet. This is a good start, Apple. Update complete. Ah, brilliant. I'll unlock. Thank you. Thank you. How do we get out of this now? Ah, we have to, okay. Modern technology, lads. I'm like a goat looking at thunder. Right. Huzzah! It's working. Right, so that's the first bit of the jigsaw. Now, put you back there. So, St. Gallen train station, that's where we're going to fly to first. From there, we're then going to be heading down almost south on a heading of 169 degrees, give or take, right? So we need to say, right, that's going to be 23 miles down the road. How are we going to actually manage this? Because, yeah, we can set a timer and say, well, if we're flying at this speed over the ground, we should get down there in roughly, 12 minutes or whatever, right? We're looking for kind of visual reference points along the way to help us out. Now, if we look on the map, well, there are things we can find. I don't know what that guy is. That little red fella there. It's a windmill, isn't it? So if we want to... Now, we're flying left seat, therefore we want this to be on our right-hand side. So if we use the windmills as visual reference points, which we absolutely could, right? We're going to use them to help us navigate towards Sargon's Turnpike. Now, that's one way of doing it, right? But because it's us planning this route, well, we need to consider everything. What's the risk of flying this direction? Can anyone tell me what's the risk of... We could go out here where this road and the river is, because you'll notice that, well, it looks relatively calm and flat. Versus, well, we can tip across this neck of the woods, the cross-country element. We've mountains there. Very good, Belro. So, if we have mountains there, what does that mean? We're going to have to climb. And if we climb, well, that's going to affect our aircraft performance. It's also going to impact on our fuel, right? And if we look here, we can see, well, the peak of the obstacles here is 8,500 feet. Now, our Cessna could go up to about 10,000, right? Yeah, we can go higher. Right, but it means then we're going to be a long time climbing, and then when we get up there, we're going to be descending again. So it's our choice what we want to do. We could, for instance, go to the Gallen train station, right, and then maybe go over this neck of the woods, and then tip on out and follow the river down. Now, by doing so, it will extend our route. It'll put additional time on us, but it means then we can maintain a much lower altitude, right? So we have these options ahead of us. We can go over the mountains, or we go this neck of the woods over by the roads, where you're only talking, altitude peaks below you, 2,000 or 3,000 feet. We'd be comfortable at 5,500. No problem, right? Then we're going to get down to the Sargon's Turnpike. So we're going to go in and have a look at it. And again, you can do additional things with your maps. You can say, right, tell you what, map, show me what it looks like in the real world. Ah, that's what it looks like there. Okay, so we can see there's some sports grounds in here, a couple of empty fields, houses, and it is a mad-looking turnpike. All right, that should be fairly easy to identify from the sky, right? All right, fair enough. We continue. From there, we're going to be heading northwest, and we're going to be coming over the Walensee River into the lake. Over the lake, then, our next waypoint has to be the Linth River outlet. So the Lind River outlet, well, that's where it is, right? There's the Lind River, and that's where she comes on into the lake, right? So that's a long old distance. Again, that's about 23 miles straight across. So if we wanted to kind of break up the journey, we have lots of visual reference points along the way. So we'll know from Sargans we're going to head to the lake. Then after the lake, what we're going to do, well, we're looking for an airport. We're going to fly over Scanis, right? Our altitude is going to be clear at the airfield. We're going to fly directly over it because we'll see the airport or the airfield on approach. We'll look down and say, oh, look, there's the airfield. We can fly over that. And then we'll know roughly, well, you know, the next one is going to be Lake Zurich. We're going to be having a look at the Lind River outlet. All right. Our final waypoint then is up into Zurich itself, into the airport. Now, we could fly straight up and along, right? Or we can say, well, right, I tell you what, when we get to the Lind River, why don't we stay over the lake? Because we have a bridge here. We're going to see the bridge, fly over the bridge. And then if we just kind of maybe follow up on the north side coast of the lake, just follow this all the way up until it meets the south. And this is directly over Zurich itself. And the reason why we're doing this, well, I can say, well, look, we can now intercept some of the waypoints. We could go Whiskey 1, then it's up to Whiskey 2, right? Whiskey 1, possibly a better area. And then we have Sierra here, arrival and departure. So these are actual VF4 points coming in to help navigate towards the airport. So we go Sierra, Whiskey 1, Whiskey 2, and then we'll be entering the traffic pattern for runway 28. We're going to be on the right downwind. Yeah. And as we spin, it'll be a left and then a left again. And when we land, we need to get up to what's called Sector 6. That's where we're heading for. All right. Any questions so far? Our initial kind of routing out of here, I think we'll try and go for the mountain flying, right? I think we'll give this a bash. There is visual reference points there. They have these wind farms. We'll see those in the distance, right? So I'm going to give that a blast. There is high peaks here. The highest peak, as we can see, it's 8.5. We're going to want to be up at around 10. You know, you want to, at all times, you want to maintain about 1,000 feet off the ground. All right. So that's what we're going to attempt to do. So that's what our flight plan looks like. So that's what I'm going to go with, right? So if I were to go into Navigraph over here, and I have this on my tablet, so it's the fully updated route. The last thing, or the last bit of the jigsaw we need to figure out is the overall altitudes. So when we take off, well, we know, right, we're about 11 or 1,300 feet off above sea level. So we're going to be probably aiming for maybe 4,500 feet. Bearing in mind, we now know we're going to be climbing to about 10,000. But once we clear 10,000 over these mountains, 10,000 is going to be a little bit high up to be looking at this turnpike. So we just need to be careful of that. So we'll want to drop altitude and then we're going to follow up this way. All right. Again, altitude here, look, 4,700. So we'll just want to be careful with our routing. Now we can fly around this again. Look, we got a nice visual reference point here. Look at these mad roads, look. We're going to see those from the aircraft. Now, ideally, they want to be on our left-hand side. So we're flying the aircraft facing this direction. We're sat in the left-hand seat. We want to look out the left window. We're going to see these roads. All right. So that's what we're going to do there. Any questions so far? Excellent. Right. So I'm happy enough with that. Let's go to the briefing. We have a quick video here to watch. This is our moment, the final flight that we're going to be doing at Navigraph Academy. So, well, let's go in and have a look at this and jump up there now. We have an outlook.
This is the final challenge. You are doing your solo cross-country flight to Zurich. Make sure you have planned your route on your charts. You must pass all the waypoints given in the briefing material in order. However, the rest of the route is up to you. The maximum time allowed for the flight is 1 hour and 45 minutes. This is counted from when you start your lesson and until you end your flight. Big congratulations on making it this far. Good luck and have fun.
Oh, we'll have the fun, all right. We'll have the fun. Alni just bought a second Stream Deck Plus on the background of my Stream Deck Plus video. Nice, you just got it, buddy. That's awesome. Yeah, have fun with it, man. They're great. They are great. Okay, so are we ready? Let's go. So put that over there. And then we're going to go into the sim. Eesh. So we're loaded in. We're going to be departing out of St. Gallen, runway 28, and we're heading for Zurich. Are we ready, friends? Let's go into the flight, and let's see how this all goes. So I'm going to keep my Navigraph charts over here on my right-hand side. I also have access to my checklists, which is over here. All right. So your plane hasn't loaded in yet. Go on now, divil. There we go. Right, let it all calm down. There we go. We got things working. All right, we should be good. We should be good. All right. So here is our airplane. We have our checklist, so we can look at our on-the-ground checklists. Brakes, we're going to make sure that they're set. So down here, hit our brakes. Brakes are set. Circuit breakers, we're going to make sure these are all in. Look, all in. Electrical equipment is off. Avionics switches are off. Fuel selector valve goes to both. And our fuel shut-off valve goes to on. Pieman Jim, thank you very much indeed, buddy. Cheers, man. What an absolute legend. Jeez, 7 months, bud. Cheers. Pete, good to see you. Murph, good evening. Just finished watching the news. Excellent info on the on MSA and FS Expo. If you wear your Crocs to Expo, Mrs. Pete said she would wear her pink ones with you. Pete, it's happening. We're bringing Crocs. Fantastic. Right. Now, before I just start, throttle, mixture, standby, test light. So I'll keep my charts or my checklist over here. A couple of things I want to do, obviously, is going to be checking on our fuel. Outside of the aircraft, the walk around itself is done. Beautiful day here. Conditions are absolutely stunning. So we're just going to now start putting some power into the aircraft. So we shall start off. Throttle, we're going to open up about 1/4 of an inch. Mixture idle cut off. Standby battery is over here. We're going to hold this and test. Wait about 10 seconds or so. Wait for that green light. And once it doesn't, turn off, we know it works. Then we'll put the standby battery to armed. Then we'll go for the. A check on our instruments. So gyro starting to spin. Avionics fans coming alive, and we're going to be looking for any red X's on the engine. So the sensors of the engine are saying no, all is well. We can also see that our voltage and our amps are all correct. Standby battery amps discharge is on our screen here. We're going to go beacon light to on. Put our nav lights on as well for the crack. Prop area, we're going to say clear prop. And we're going to go for the master battery. Also make sure that our flap handle is in the up position. So master battery and alternator. They're coming alive here now. So we'll say the engine is cold. So we're going to go fuel pump on. We're going to go mixture rich. Give it some beans here as well, just to kind of prime the engine. Fuel pump off. And we're going to go to our mag. So we're going to go left, right, both. And we'll give it an L to start up. Uniform Goose, good to see you, man. And there's a good start in the engine. Clean out the mixture just a little bit as we're sitting on the ground. We can see battery amps are now level. We have voltage on both our main bus and essential bus. And we'll go avionics bus 1 and 2 to on. Okay, so our taxi routing, we need to get to runway 28 for our departure, right? So if we come back up the road here, we're currently over at Bravo. We need to taxi now to runway 28. So that's going to be Bravo, November. We'll do our run up and then it's runway 28. So that's our taxi briefing. Corn Wolf, good to see you. An essential bust. There's an idea, I'm Pierce. Yeah, I'm telling you. All right. So avionics are coming on. Make sure that our barrow is set. Direction indicator is set. We'll also horse in some altitude here. So I reckon about 4,500 feet. That'll keep us safe for a while, right? And then our heading indicator, we'll be putting that to the runway heading, right? So we'll fix all that now in a moment. While we're sitting here, we're going to go ahead and put on our taxi lights. Temperature outside is okay for the moment, 23 degrees. We shouldn't need anything in terms of pitot heats, right? So what we're going to do, we're going to start taxiing. So it's a right and then it's a left. Are we ready? Off the brakes. Small bit of power. Look right and left. And we'll start manoeuvring. Test the brakes. Brakes are working fine. While we're here, we'll stick on the L transponder. Make sure nothing there on the right. And we're going to taxi up to the left. A creative bus space. Very good, Linny. Very good. Alright. Taxi nice and handy. Then we'll have our before takeoff. So we'll do a run-up test just down the hill here. Looks very pretty, doesn't it? Easy now. Nice and handy, lads. Nice and handy. Alrighty. Flight controls are going to make sure they are free and correct. They feel free. They seem correct. Aileron up, aileron down. Aileron up, aileron down. And elevator out the back. Flight controls are working. Fuel that we have on board, we've 22 gallons, which should be okay for what we're doing, right? It's a relatively short flight, so fuel efficiency is going to be important here, so we'll want to watch for that. So we're still on November. We're going to get ourselves down to the base here and do a quick run up and see how we get on. Nice and easy. Okay, on the brakes a bit. Let's turn in. And you always want to be trying facing the wind as best you can when you're doing your run up, right? So we're going to hold position. We're going to apply full mixture. RPM coming up. Aim for about 1800 on the RPM. Alright, so we're going to go onto the right mag. A drop of about 90. Back to both. Should be gains. On the left mag. Again, a smooth drop back down 90 RPM. That looks good there. We're going to bring it all the way back to idle. Make sure it doesn't cut out. Okay. So flight controls have been checked. Flight instruments, altimeter, standby instruments, fuel quantity, mixture, trim, set for takeoff. Annunciators are clear. No warnings on our screens. Flaps we're going to set for takeoff. All looking good. So let's continue on. Sunjammer, good to see you. Bald Eagle, welcome in. Good to see you guys. Okay, so as we're approaching runway 28, there is no one else here, but we'll just keep an eye out. The approach area is clear. The departure leg is clear. So as you approach the runway, strobe lights come on, landing lights come on, flaps are already set. Our takeoff briefing, if we haven't taken off by Alpha, it's on the brakes and abandon ship, right? Okay, we're looking good here. Got ourselves lined up. Alright. Okay, so we're now on runway 28. We're going to go heading to heading mode. Vertical speed would be climbing at around 700 feet a minute. Flight director is on. We're going to set heading and we're going to set vertical speed. Okay, mixture's rich. We're walking, talking and squawking. Let's go flying. Okay, takeoff power set. Small bit of rudder input. Airspeed live. Keep we're going. We're going to look for around 55 knots. It's 55. Ease up we go. And she just wants to fly. Positive rate of climb and indicating. We're going to keep that runway heading. There's 200 feet. There's 300 feet. Flaps up. Double check our engine, mixture's rich. So far, so good. Alright, easy now. We're going to be climbing at around 74, give or take. At the moment, we're looking good. We're going to be heading up to 4,500 feet. Okay, we're looking good so far. Toto is here. Good to see you, buddy. A Game and Bubble, thank you very much. Good to see you guys. Okay, so this is where we're going to be leaving the pattern. So as we came up over our 500 feet, everything in here is looking good. Pattern altitude, we're going to start a left turn here now. And let's head her on. Now again, this is where you want to be watching out for terrain. Alright. So we are climbing nicely. Just watch that terrain as we do it. Okay, mountains there in the background, looks absolutely gorgeous. As we're now leaving kind of the traffic area, we can go ahead and kill the landing and taxi lights. Power settings are okay, we're still climbing. Mixture, don't need to worry until we get to about 3,000 feet. Over to the right here a little bit. So what I want to do, I want to pick up that road we were talking about, which is over here. See the road going in? So we were saying, look, we're going to aim for this turnpike, or this mad spaghetti junction. So that's what we're going to focus on now. And once we get to that, then it's going to be a further left turn. So we can see all the junctions, we have roads and we've rail, and then we can see built up areas here. Alright, so that's what we're going for first. Now here's a couple of junctions we were looking at. There's a little bridge. So I say we're getting very close. Here's the rail, here's the road. And then we're going to be turning down this way. This is where Point Zulu is going to be. Alright. And if we look here, this is where the road, where Zulu is. See the smaller road that tucks in? Yeah? So if we were to look on our chart where that was, that's where the road tucks in. So this is where Point Zulu is. Alright? So we're coming up now on 3,500 feet. Tiny bit of mixture. Keep an eye on the RPM. Speed is good. We're still climbing. Now we can climb a little bit more aggressively here. I just want to make sure we're going the right direction. You know what I mean? Because we're looking out for this Point Zulu. So there's the road. So we're where we should be. And then Point Zulu is just off here then on our right hand side. It's located roughly here. So next up we need to head for the train station. So we're looking now for the train station. So eyes front, we can see where the rail is going in. Here's the town, and I'd say there's our train station. See all the multiple rail lines? Right? So that's where the train station is going to be. Climbing nice and easy. We're about to hit 4,500 feet. And so far so good. No major panic yet. You know, I say that with like, there's no panic at all. Okay, so we're now leveling off. We're going to be going on to our cruise checklist. This is going to be power and then mixture, right? So our power, we can calm this down a little bit. We're going to call it 2300 on the RPM. And then we're going to add some, or remove some mixture. So let's have a look here. 2310, 2320. We'll just park it in roughly here. There we go. Okay, so the train station. Again, we're looking at the railway going in. There's the motorway. And here's the train station. So see the way we have all these multiple rail lines coming in? Yeah? That's a train station right there. Now the next waypoint, we said we're going to be climbing here, lads, yeah? And we're heading up over the hills and we're going to be looking for wind turbines. That's going to be our next waypoint. So we're going to start climbing here now like a devil. So we're going to horse in. Let's go 9,500. We're going to V-speed this. We're going to climb at 700 feet a minute. We're going to readjust our power for best climb performance. And we're now going to start turning in that direction to the hills, which is roughly a 194 heading. P.S. Miranda, hello there. See, now I need to place these skylines with all the railway talk. Yeah, 100%. 100%. Okay, so we have a lot of mountains here ahead of us. We got to watch our speed here as well and start adjusting our mixture, right? This is where the crack really starts happening. So looking at these, we know minimum safe altitude is 8,500 feet. We're planning to go to like 9.5. So we'll see how we get on here, right? Aaron, thank you very much indeed, buddy. Cheers, man. So there's 5,000 feet. We'll need to adjust our rate of climb to make sure we maintain about a 74 knot climb, right? Am I using Atmos? No, negative. I use reshade. So that's the default sim, and that's reshade. So as we're flying, again, eyes out, we're now looking for wind farms. We've antennas up here. Nothing jumping out at me just yet. Speed is looking good, 5,500 feet. Continue to climb. Looking around, I mean, look, we're safe enough. There's decent separation between us and the ground. Speed is looking good. Engine is okay. Temperatures are okay. Cold in Minnesota. Good to see you, bud. You seen him at our 12 o'clock? Now we're aiming to pass these, so they should be on our left a little bit. So they should be over here if we're doing this right. They could be a little bit further ahead. I can't see them yet, so we're okay. Climbing, so far so good. 700 feet a minute. And we're heading straight over the Alps. This is beautiful, isn't it? Day's going great, buddy. Thanks for asking. How's your day going, man? Hope you're having a cracker of a day. How's I think everything's working on the Twitter or the TikTok side, I think. Let us hope. Okay, speed is still good. Mixture, let's have a look now, because as we're climbing, a bit more power, right? And let's see what happens. I wonder if it changed that. Change the title and let's see what happens. So climbing, we're up on 7,000 feet now. Keep it going. Let's have a look to see where we can kind of navigate over these mountains. We'll probably go over this pass here. I imagine the wind turbines were over here somewhere. Maybe they're not rendered in, which is very strange. But we'll see. We'll keep going. We could probably go straight through here, I'd say, look. Because this is interesting. I mean, we can see the aerial. This is the very peak of it. That's a ski lift, look. Deadly. Sheffy is here. Good morning. Hope you're well. Right. Let's see what happens. Speed is good, altitude is good. Man, look at the views, look. Jesus. Now, this is where we have a bit of freedom with the flight. These aren't waypoints we need to intercept. This is just helping us navigate to where we need to get to, right? So we're going the right way because we knew we had to pass where the ski lift is up over the hills. I didn't see the wind turbines, though. Or I didn't see the first set of them. But once we pass this guy, we should see them then. Days, this is beautiful, look. Isn't that gorgeous, look? So we're climbing well. 80 knots, very comfortable. There's the ski lift. Man alive, that is absolutely gorgeous, isn't it? Stunning. Okay, so 8,500 feet. Do you know what? We can probably level here because we shouldn't have higher terrain where we're going. So, let's hold. Let's call it 8.5. And we'll adjust our power here now in a moment. So there's that ski lift. The epic region to fly. It really is, man. It's stunning up here. Again, we've got to be careful flying close to mountains. You've updrafts, downdrafts, you've all these things to consider. So one must be careful, you know? So let's see what happens. So our next wind farm should be on our left-hand side down here. Again, I don't... Well, there's something there, maybe. Man, look at the view there, look. Jesus, look at that, lads. That's superb. Absolutely gorgeous. Possibly. Man, the terrain here is something else. And there at the side of the mountain. And now we're going to directly fly over. I'd say there should be something there, I'd say. Alright. I want to head this direction. Look at that for a view. Savage, isn't it? Gar Gaming, good to see you, bud. Hope you're well. Now a big-ish kind of a mountain block here ahead of us. But we're okay to clear it. Ease off for power just a little bit. Make sure our mixture now is set. There we go. Temperatures, pressure's all okay. Fuel is okay. What are my LOD settings? Fairly high. Like, it's on our map that there should have been a wind turbine there. I didn't see it though, did you? Should have been something in there. I would say they've thrown in a building instead of the wind turbine. Which is not ideal at all. But we'll see. We'll plod around and see what happens. Now, as we're navigating here, let's have a look. Look at the views though, isn't this unbelievably good? So, there's the lake we're going to be following in a little while, right? We're going to be rambling over that in a little bit. Yeah, Malky, possible. Very possible. Man, this is gorgeous. We're close-ish to the mountains, but we still have decent separation over it. Hopefully it doesn't give out to us too much, you know? It might. Okay, we can probably start thinking about descending now because we're not going to need all this altitude, so let's drop her down. We'll drop 2,000. We're going to ease off the power a bit. And keep ourselves kind of primed for 500 feet a minute. We want to go to this area over here. And then allow, you know, sufficient room to be able to turn around. So we're going to be looking for a turnpike at Sargans. So what we could do, to lean our way into it a little bit more, we're going to aim this neck of the woods and then turn right back into it, you know? Forsac Shark, it's called the Wheel, exclamation point wheel. Rambok Mord made it. It's deadly. And you can customize it and do all sorts of messing with it as well. Good. Adam Controls is here. Good morning to you, buddy. How's she cutting, man? Happy Thursday. Right, the turnpike. It's going to be coming in fairly quick. Hey. So again, we'll just try and position ourselves as best we can for it. As we're descending, about 7.5, about 1,000 feet to go. Jesus, the view's something else. Look, Jesus, what a gorgeous part of the world to go flying. All right, easy now. We're still dropping. Let's ease off some of that speed now, so we're not under pressure. So we're looking for the turnpike over. It's over this neck of the woods, I would say. I mean, that kind of looks like it, but I can't be sure. Oh, that's it there. Look. So there's that visual reference point. We must cross that one. So we'll circle around here. I just want to drop a little bit of altitude. We're going to use this like little mountain here. We're going to swing around that, and then we'll overfly that waypoint. Speed is good, 95, 6,500. We should be alright. Again, we can afford to drop this even lower. We'll go 4.5. Now watch our power as we do this. Readjust our mixture. We must overfly that one. So far so good. And then the lake is what we're after then as well, yeah? Let me see here now. Let that timer run for a bit. There's that little mountain we were looking at. We're down on 6,000. Just watching our terrain as we do this. Like, this is the beauty of VF4 flying. I mean, you're just you're free as the wind. Like, it's great. Easy now. Okay, looking good. Speed is still okay. As I said, we're descending. We just don't want to be going too fast. 1,000 feet to go. And let's see if we can spot that waypoint. There it is there. So there's the road leading up to it. There's our waypoint just here. So we're okay, we're on course for it. Nice shallow descent here as well. Man, this is beautiful in the valley now. Jesus. There's a road coming in. 500 feet to go. You see the railway going in here as well. Quick check in our temperatures and pressures. RPM a little bit low, but we are descending. EGT wouldn't be the finest bit of mixture to be added in. We're holding 19 knots, a couple of 100 feet to go. Keep her going. Man, look, that's so dramatic there, isn't it? Look at that. That's beautiful. With the fields, we got cars down there, you got the river, you got the cliff. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Okay, leveling off. Power coming in. We're going to aim for about 2300. Adjust our mixture if needs be. Roughly there, right? And there's our waypoint. Deadly. Okay, we're looking good. We're going to follow up this road. Let me see here now. Let's follow the road. Then we'll get to the lake. So we follow this all the way down to the lake. Alright. 2400. Ease off the power a bit. About 23 will do us. Like, we can cruise 100, 105. You know, give or take. Right. Follow on this road. Keep our distance, obviously, from the terrain either side. Yeah, it's gorgeous, Patrick, isn't it? It's gorgeous, man. There's the lake, so that is our next waypoint as we fly up and along. Hoorah. Isn't it only gorgeous, lads? Absolutely savage. Max Stallion is here, good morning. Sackett, this is Microsoft Flight Sim 2024. Okay, there's the lake. Again, watch out for the high terrain either side. Chase plane is brilliant, isn't it? Man, look at the views here. This is a stunning flight. So, temps and pressures are okay. Fuel, just under, we only have about 18 gallons, right? We're okay. We're going to overfly the lake here. Angels 1-5, good to see you. Captain Marrett, welcome in. Cheers, buddy. It's a NVIDIA 5090. An RTX 5090 is the GPU. Right. So we can follow up this lake, keep it in the valley, And our next waypoint here, lads, is actually an airport up the road. Shannis Airport. So we can keep her moving. Just watching our timing here as well. And then it's going to be up to the Lint River outlet. Again, altitude should be absolutely fine here. 4.5 seems to be fairly comfortable. 2390 on the RPM. We'll keep it up there. Like, we're cruising nicely at about 100 knots. And we're just taking in the views. A nice tunnel down there, look. It's just great to go exploring in the sim, isn't it? Like, I mean, you're just out for an old ramble and see what you can see, you know. Johnny Mon is here. Good to see you, Johnny. Welcome aboard, man. Hope you're having a great day. Or night. Wait, what time is it with you, Johnny? It's like 4 in the morning, 5 in the morning. Okay, so our autopilot is doing, well, that's doing all the heavy lifting. We're just making sure our temperatures and pressures are good. Fuel is looking okay. Our fuel burn, we're within kind of, what are we in? 30 miles of our destination. So we're pretty much at the halfway point. Mr. TPHI, good to see you, man. Hope you're having a great day. You're up before your breakfast. Speaking of which, lads, what is breakfast these days? What do you just have for breakfast? Is it like, you know, a cup of coffee and an owl bit of cereal? Is it porridge? Is it none? Right? 6:15 in Chicago, just finished work. Nice, man, nice. So, Johnny, do you go for breakfast after work, or do you have, like, what way does that work? Coffee and then more coffee? Yeah, great combination, yes. That's what's needed in the world. More coffee. Alright, we're following the lake. Tea and anything sweet, says Linny. Nothing for Uniform Goose. I tend not to eat myself. I don't eat in the morning. I'd have my lunch and then I have a dinner, and that's kind of me, you know. And then I completely misbehave in the weekend, you know. But I'll sort that out someday. Eventually. Coffee, then a stronger coffee. Okie dokie. So when we clear this area, we're going to follow the canyon down, and it's going to be up to the right hand side, and I'm expecting them to pick up that other airport. You're just finishing your coffee after your cereal. Nice. Sometimes not today though. I'm getting some tea extracted this morning. Oh mother of dear Janie Mac. I'm not a fan of the dentist. It's the one thing I dislike in life. The dentist, spiders and Leitrim. You know. Reminds me of me Munster supporters breakfast. A mouthful of water from the tap and a scratch at the arse. Brilliant. Nice thing is though, you have a 3-day weekend. Ooh, nice. Murph, I hear your breakfast is a baked iguana and dew from Mount Olympus. Yes, yes, yes. And a cup of water, you know, from the springs of Mount Olympus. Yeah, I like that. I like that. Alright, keep it going. I can kind of see the next lake already, right? And we want to be joining this lake, Lake Zurich, roughly over here. There's the airport we were looking for, I think. Is it? No. She's further on up the road. Okay, keep her going. Speed is good. Temps and pressures, all in the green. Ross Cudd is here. Good to see you, buddy. Same, not a fan, but the fear has led me to the aforementioned distractions. Yeah. So a long-legged dentist in Manor Hamilton. There you go. Creole. Nightmares. Nightmares. Okay. Small movements here on the right. Checking terrain on the left. And there is an airport to our south, but that's not what we were looking for. We're looking for one up here. So we should keep our eyes peeled. If we follow this river up, it's going to lead us most of the way there anyway. It's more like a canal, to be honest, isn't it? There's an airport. I'd say that's our ticket. As we kind of maneuver around the big mountains. Man, they're gorgeous looking, aren't they? Absolutely stunning. Okay, so we're going to overfly this airport. And then it's over this neck of the woods. So we can see where the river leads on out towards the lake. And then we have Lake Zurich. Gorgeous. So that is, what do we call it? Shannis Airfield. Very pretty. Seeing as you're a fan of controversial food, what's your opinion on a mayo... Oh wait, mayo on a breakfast roll? Oh no, mayo on a breakfast roll is okay, Adam. It adds a bit of twang to your breakfast roll, you know. Because if you've eggs on your roll, well, you've egg roll, right? Or egg mayo. But man yourself, people think I'm a psycho. Not at all. Jesus, no. Mayo on a breakfast roll, it gives it a twang. Now, I don't know what I do it all the time, you know. It depends. I'm not mad for sauce on me breakfast rolls. Sometimes, you know, if you're feeling particularly kind of zany and zesty, you might, you know. Okie dokie, so we're pretty much overhead this runway. Excelente. And now we want to go where the river joins the lake. Doc Nader, good to see you, buddy. Yeah, you can go with ketchup, of course you can. A soft roll or crispy roll. Crispy on the outside, soft on the inside. Very important. Shocking important, do you know? Brownie, good to see you, buddy. How does Mrs. Murph persuade you to leave the house, right? It takes some time for sure. Takes some time for sure. Okay, looking at the features here, this is an actual waypoint we must cross. This is where the river, the Lindt River, comes into Lake Zurich. And then another waypoint looking further on down. There should be a bridge out here somewhere. There it is. So that's another visual reference point we're looking for. That's the ticket right there. Mark Swan is here. Good to see you, Mark. Hope you're well. Very good afternoon. The sequel Gimble put up in the Bremen bar. The devil. The devil. Okie doke. You now have a sudden hankering for for bacon in a soft roll. Bit of brown sauce as well, Malky. Oh, Jesus. A bacon roll. A bacon butty. Oh, yeah. Okay, we're looking good. There's the river. It meets the lake. We needed to see this. And then we'll turn. We're going to follow this lake. So we're going to go over the bridge. Then we're going to just handrail the north side of the coast up as we continue our approach into Zurich. Isn't it only terribly pretty? Jeez, the detail is insane, isn't it? I'd say now living out here is only absolutely gorgeous. Barbecue sauce, that would work. All this food talk, now need to go eat before you go to work, right? Time to get lunch done. Sandwiches based on cheese ploughmans. Cheese, you say? Alright, looking good. Temps pressure's good. Fuel good. Speed is good. So let's continue on. Mrs. TPHI, good morning and welcome to Upside Down Land. Hope you're well, Mrs. Hope you're well. Now, let me see. So wherever you're tuning in from, I have a cold sore on my lip, lads. It's very annoying. Wherever you're tuning in from, we're here live today on Twitch, YouTube, and for the first time on TikTok. Can't say it's going very well. Jesus, I turned it on yesterday, there was 30 people watching. I turned it on today, there's only me watching. I broke something, you know. It's always the way, isn't it? It's always the way. Easy now. Ba-da-ba-dum, ba-da-ba-dum, bum-ba. Yeah, I could lose my entire head. You know what I mean? That's the worry. Where is this now, Murph? You Muppet. Interesting. Hey, Vasco's here. Good to see you, Vasco. Welcome in, buddy. Right, so overflying the bridge, which is just down here. We're using that as a visual reference point. Then it's pretty much just handrail all the way all along. Our altitude is kind of high. Zurich. What's the elevation of Zurich? 1400. So we've only been about 2,500 feet heading in. Right? First time ever on TikTok, says Vasco. Good man yourself. Ditto. I've had a TikTok for ages. Sometimes I used it, sometimes I didn't. But the idea is you try to be on platforms that people prefer to be on. You know what I mean? Or at least that's the idea behind it. You don't want to be stuck on one platform. Because like if people don't like using a certain platform that you live stream on, that's the idea. So if it's going to be 1,500 feet elevation in Zurich, we're currently at 4.5. So we can possibly look at dropping now down to 3.5. Which I think might be better. I mean, yeah, we can see everything we need to see. But we can afford to give ourselves a bit of a drop here. So we're going to call it 3,500 feet. Please speed this one down 700 feet a minute. Keep our speed okay. Just make sure we don't pass, too fast. As we continue along. Watch our mixture here as we do it. And we're just following the lake now. 8, 8, 16, 24, 30. About 30 miles to go. Fuel is good. $14 gallons maybe? 16 gallons? Patrick, it would be usually, yeah. About 700 feet a minute. That's kind of the comfortable area. Crafty Tigers, man yourself, he's over on TikTok as well. Ah, brilliant. Now you need to do stuff on TikTok and tell your friends, share the thing on TikTok. That's how that works, I think. Before we know it, we'll have 3 people watching, Brilliant. Look at this unsufferable idiot on TikTok. Yes. Welcome. Come on, Crafty, you ledge. Right. Continue on. We're about to level off 3,500 feet. Bit of power. Now check our power settings. There we go. And lure. So we're going to be approaching a fairly busy neck of the woods, so that's going to make me turn on some lights. We will be doing that a lot further closer, but if it was me flying, I'm now entering a very, densely populated area, so that's what you'd want to be doing. 3 people, let's not go overboard. Listen, if you had to make dinner for 3 people, or if you had to carry 3 people from downstairs to upstairs on your back, 3 people is a lot of people. Perspective, you see? Flying Winnebago, perspective. Right. So what we're looking for here now, we'll be picking up the railway, and we're going to be going for the Whiskey 1 waypoint, right? That's what we're aiming for here now, as we're chugging along, just under 100 knots. I'm just making sure that we can see that north side of the coast all the way up. It's very, very beautiful here though, isn't it? It's gorgeous here. Anthony Crotty, come on Crotty, brilliant, now there's 3 of us, this is fantastic. Spam the bejesus out of people now. Oh look, this fella's live and he's great crack, you know, he's music and sound effects and all devil knows what. Yeah.
Good nooning.
Let's try that again.
Good nooning.
Right, brilliant. Fantastic news. How much this flight is going to change today. I mean, we're going to be doing 737 stuff now in a while. In a box man is here. Good morning, buddy. Hope you're well. How's your Thursday going? It starts off with 1,000 bench presses, you know, and then some stomach crunches. Then onto the exercise bike, upside down, right? Good so far? Nice, man, nice. Jeez, look at this coming in here now at Zurich. This looks absolutely stunning. Beautiful. Right, easy now. We photogrammetry here as well. This is brilliant. Now, Zurich Airport is up over this neck of the woods, but we just want to approach it. You know what I mean? So if we're at 3.5, we'll be entering the pattern at 2.5 and then descending down on final. All right. That is what we're planning to do. So. Mixture's good, barrels are set, and then we'll be doing our before landing. For the moment, we're quite okay. Where's this now? Working great over here. Oh, is it? On the ticks of the talks. Brilliant. Yeah, it's the vertical stream, so it gives you a different perspective of what we'd have on Twitch, we'd say, you know? But hopefully it all looks terribly fancy and, you know, apart from, you know, this screen. It should be grand though. This is all terribly nice. So there is, what's this now? So we've Sierra, which is just here, Whiskey 1, Whiskey 2, and then we're over. So we should be seeing the airport now. We are. Huzzah! There's the airport. Brilliant. Now, obviously, real world stuff, you'll be talking to ATC. They'll be giving you directions in, or they'll tell you to fly the VFR approach, or, you know what I mean? You've all that kind of stuff. Some stutters, some loading. Should be okay, though. That new ground handling plugin for X-Plane got released finally yesterday. Real Ops is it called? Need to check that one out soon. So tonight is our last flight of our US series of VATSIM, and then next week we start a brand new series, and that first flight is going to be Dublin to Brussels. Ooh, looking forward to that. Kubi, Montana. A very good morning to you. Hope you're well. We're just about to do our approach here into Zurich. Lights are on. Mixture is okay-ish. 2300 on the RPM. Just under 100 knots here. We're at 3,500. Once we enter the circuit then, it's going to be down to 2.5. Irish Patriot, good to see you. Did you fly any 5th gen fighters? What would be a 5th gen? Like Eurofighter? That kind of neck of the woods? From the Eurofighter. Man alive, this is going to be lovely. Jesus. This is going to be fantastic. I watched a clip of your man, the Savage Eye, the other day. He was doing Joe Duffy. Fantastic. You have to stop with the words terrible. I need something more. Jesus. You know, he reminds me of Adam Controls, actually. Adam, I reckon you'd be brilliant at doing the Savage Eye. You know, the Joe Duffy part of it. You know? F-35, F-22. Oh yeah, I've flown those. I have. Pete, take it fierce handy, buddy. Thanks so much for tuning in. We'll see you soon. Right, so mind the mountain there on our left hand side. Airport is in full sight. We're just going to be using this now as our approach. Look at this, lads. Jeez. So our speed is good. Whiskey 1 and then Whiskey 2. So once we get to Whiskey 1, we'll start descending into Zurich. We're going to aim for 2,500 feet in the pattern. And then, like everything, runway 28, once we're abeam, we drop it down, we do our turn in, and all should be well, right? Famous last words, Murph. You know, there's the train station. There's a stadium. This is terribly nice. What you do today? We flew to Zurich, and it was absolutely savage. It looks like a business spot. Anyone been to Zurich before? I've never been in Zurich. Okay, so we're going to set 2,500. And once we approach Whiskey 1, it's going to be a turn then to Whiskey 2, and then we enter the pattern. Again, we've decent clearance over the ground. Make sure our barrow is set. Direction indicator is following our compass. Our lights are already on. What's that out there? Is that another train station? Oh, it's a giant car park. You're on PlayStation. I'd like to try out. Need to do a bit of research. Nice, nice. Yeah, it's the sim is working well on PlayStation, gotta say. Okay, we're approaching Whiskey 1. Bit of terrain around the place, so I don't want to drop just yet. So once we hit Whiskey 1, as we start off for Whiskey 2, that's when we descend. So this is... where's the river? There's the river. So this is Whiskey 1. Right? Irish Patriot, not at all, buddy. Have a good one, man. Okay, Whiskey 1. And it's going to be a right turn now, 041 degrees. Good. Let's ease off some of the power, not to rush ahead of us. We're turning on for the airport. Speed coming down nicely. There's a road coming in. And we can start our vertical speed. Drop her down. Call it 700 feet a minute. Let's get to 2,500 feet. Watch our speed on the descent. Small bit of mixture now. Alright. Follow the road in. Speed's okay-ish. Ease it back another bit. We have another kind of spaghetti junction thingy just here in front of us. Easy now. Okay, 3,000 mixture's going to go full rich. 96 knots, looking good. Runway 28, that looks like the base of it over there. Let's see what happens. Go away the stutters. Keep her going. Easy now. Okay, so fuel selector is on both. Mixture, rich, landing light on, taxi light on, and then autopilot. We'll be jumping that off very shortly. Leveling out 2,500 feet. Watch our RPM. We've now hit the traffic pattern altitude. 2,500 feet, that's 1,000 over the ground. There's our landing runway. We're going to enter the pattern here now. Watch the speed. Diddly-dee-dee-dee, diddly-dee-dee-dee. Alrighty, so entering on the downwind. There's a runway over there. Bring the power down a bit. That's where we're going for, lads. Okay, so autopilot off. Mixture's already rich. We're just descending here now. Keep the altitude going for the moment. Once we're abeam at the runway, that's when we can drop our speed, notch the flaps, and away we go. We're now abeam at our touchdown zone. Easy does it. Notch the flaps. Watch our altitude. And we'll be turning on the base leg in just a moment. Speed around 75. That's all okay. Easy now. 45-degree angle. There she be. Start powering down. Start letting the nose drop down. Easy now. What's the altitude? Speed is good. Continue our turn in. These houses are only gorgeous, man. Gorgeous. Okay, quick glance. There's a runway. Pappies aren't too happy with us, but that's okay for the moment. Speed continues to come down. Still descending. When it gets down to about 70 knots, give or take. We'll go second notch of flaps. Aiming off with a small bit of trim. We're going to go for a 30-degree bank. Watch your speed. And final turn. Watch our rate of drop. Easy. Easy. Okay, runway 28 dead ahead. Give ourselves a small bit of correction. Watch the speed coming back. 75 knots, we're okay. We're going to go full flaps. Keep the nose pointed down as best we can. We're a little bit high. We can correct all this here now in a moment. Watch our speed. Want to be about 61 over the threshold, not below it. Watch the speed. Okay, we're coming in a little bit steep, but again, we're okay. I can see my touchdown zone. We're slightly off the glide, but that'll come in fairly quickly. Okay, watch the speed. There we go. Over the numbers. There is a touchdown. And we're going to watch for the flare. So, hold the nose, power to idle, and just bleed it off. There's a touchdown, 204. We shouldn't have exceeded a major G, right? So can we make that exit? Unlikely. We'll exit down than the next one. 200 feet a minute. I mean, for a Cessna, that's okay. We shouldn't be in too much trouble. 6, it's called, right? O2, welcome in. Okay, we cleared the runway. Go ahead, bring our flaps in. Landing light and strobes off. And let's taxi up to Sector 6. Gorgeous flight, wasn't it? Summoner, good to see you, bud. Hope you're well. Brilliant. So looking at the chart, it's pretty much straight on. Sector 6. That's where we want to park. Should be alright. Easy now. What a great little machine, man. Right, let's have a quick look. So, they're all okay. Taxi light stays on. Flaps are in. We cycle those. Taxi speed is good. And then this is Sector 6 just up here. Alright, watch the speed coming in here. Nice and easy. Okay, onto Zulu. Find the bump in the old taxiway. Easy now. There we go. And it'll be a left turn just over here. Yeah, it's pretty much here. Nice. ExecJet, or is it ExecJet? I'd say we can just throw it in here, lads. That'll do us. Don't hit the building. Alright, park and brake. Set. Taxi lights coming off. And now we're going to go for our electrics coming off. So transponder will go to standby. Avionics coming off. Beacon, nav lights are all okay. We're going to kill the mixture. Mags off. Beacon, nav off. Battery off. Fuel. And then we have our standby. Okay, that's our flight complete. Nice. Let us see what Navigraph has to say about all of this. Okay, so we've ended the flight. Back into Navigraph. Thank you. And let's see how we get on. So it says our flight is still in progress, so we'll keep an eye on it. Right? That was a beautiful flight. It was gorgeous, man. The scenery the whole way, absolutely incredible. Absolutely incredible. So this takes a few moments. Everything gets pushed back to Navigraph, and then, you know, our main objectives were to intercept their named visual reference point. That was Point Zulu on our departure, St. Gallen's train station. Then it was the Sargans Turnpike. From there, we were to intercept the Lint River outlet, and then it was into Zurich, landing on 28, which we did, and then park over at Sector 6, which we did. So in terms of hitting our waypoints, we were correct. The altitudes we went with gave ourselves a bit of a challenge. We started off at 4,500, got up to 9,500, and then we came in at 3,500. We had sufficient fuel. We landed with about, 12 gallons, 10 gallons, right? Which is more than enough. And everything looks good. So did we pass? Huzzah! We've passed. We got 100%, lads. This is brilliant. So we've completed the solo cross-country navigation. Review your scores below to see the detailed feedback on each maneuver and discover what went well and what needs improvement. To pass, you need to get a score over 75%. So it liked everything. So that was happy out. So now it's time to do the exam, our final exam. Will we do the exam, lads? We will. We'll give it a bash. Exam. Are we ready? The final exam. Will we give this a blast? Let's go for it. Time limit. We've 20 questions, right? And we need to get 75% or more. Are we ready? Let's give it a blast. What is the procedure for leaning mixture in a 172? Ooh. Do we lean until the engine stutters, then we enrich it? Do we keep the mixture fully rich? Do we lean until exhaust gas temperature turns red? Or do we lean until the RPM peaks and then we enrich it slightly? I would say the answer there, lads, is D. We lean until the RPM peaks and then we slightly enrich it. That's rich of peak. That's what they taught us. So let's go with D. What is the main instrument used to hold a steady course on long legs? Your altimeter, your heading, your airspeed, or your turn coordinator. What is the main instrument used to hold a steady course? It's basically trying to say, listen, what instrument are you going to follow to keep it going where you need it to go? It's going to be your heading indicator, because they're talking about your course, not necessarily your altimeter. Why should turning around in a narrow valley be avoided? Is it because the GPS might lose the signal? Turbulence may cause the bank angle to increase? the turn radius may exceed valley width, or downdrafts may cause a crash. Why should turning around in a narrow valley? The turn radius may exceed the valley width. That's important. I would always worry about that. Downdrafts may cause a crash. Technically, yes, right? But it says a narrow valley. I would say the turn radius. Yeah, the turn radius. So if your aircraft at a 30-degree bank, that can't actually make that turning radius, you're in savage trouble. I would say it's C, yeah? All right. At 90 knots, what is the Cessna's speed factor? Ooh. Now, they got this wrong, I believe, earlier. Remember, we had to flag them on this, right? We actually had to flag them on this. Because what we were saying was the math was a little bit wrong. Because we were saying if it's 1.5 nautical miles per minute, it should be 6.66. Remember that? So at 90 knots, it is 1.5, right? For the Cessna. But just in case, if you got kind of thrown off, that's where it's at. What is checked during the pre-takeoff controls-free check? What is checked during the pre-takeoff controls-free? Well, what are we looking for? Is it that the control devices move the virtual cockpit controls to their ends? The flap and control inputs are bound correctly? There's no issues with the in-game settings? Or the item is not important for simulator flying? What is checked during the pre-takeoff controls-free? I would say the flaps and control inputs are bound correctly. There's no issue with the in-game settings, or the control devices move the virtual cockpit. That's it. Am I reading that wrong? What is checked during pre-check takeoff? Well, we're making sure that the flap and control inputs are bound correctly. I mean, you could say the control devices move the virtual cockpit controls to their ends. Well, not necessarily. I mean, yes, you can do that. Full left, full right, full forward, full back. Control devices move the virtual cockpit controls to their ends. That's a weird one, isn't it? Because your virtual, like in the virtual cockpit, technically the controls wouldn't necessarily, I mean, if the yoke is moving, right? Or is it that your flaps and control inputs are bound correctly? I mean, I'd be checking to make sure that they are bound correctly because they're talking about the simulator. I don't know. What do you reckon, lads? That's a tough one, isn't it? Like when you check your controls, you're making sure that the movement of your controls is free and correct, right? There's nothing obstructing them. When we're doing it from a simulator perspective, the control devices move the virtual cockpit controls to their ends, but that may not be... It sounds right. But I would say the flap and control inputs are bound correctly. Or you're checking to say that there is no issue with the game or with the in-game settings, says Mark. There is no issue with the in-game settings. Again, you could say that. You could say there's no issue, right? There's no flaps and control free check though. No, you wouldn't check the flaps. You'd be checking for control inputs, right? I reckon A. You go with A. If we get it wrong, we get it wrong. Why is mixture leaning essential above 3,000 feet? Right? Does it prevent fuel from freezing? Does it optimize the fuel to air ratio in thinner air? Does it increase your maximum RPM? Or does it reduce drag from the cowl fins? Cowl fins? Cowl fins, would it be? Cowl fins? It optimizes fuel to air ratio. Yeah, that's why we have mixture. What is the purpose of assigning altitudes to waypoints in Navigraph charts? Why would we assign an altitude to a waypoint? Is it to provide altitude reminders during the flight? To make sure the plane doesn't overspeed? To enable course-up orientation? Or is it to ensure terrain clearance? It's to provide altitude reminders. I mean, you could say it's to ensure terrain clearance. Zybot, good to see you, buddy. What is the purpose of assigning altitudes to waypoints? I mean, if you assign an altitude, it doesn't mean you're going to ensure you've cleared the terrain. You're providing altitude reminders. I mean, you still have to go off and change your altitude. That makes sense? To provide altitude reminders during the flight. Yeah, well, on cruise it could be as well. Yeah, I mean, you step climbs, right? Like, to provide altitude reminders, that is what it's doing. But is it to make sure, to ensure terrain clearance? I would say technically that's what you're doing. You're making sure you remain clear of any terrain. But it's also to remind you about different altitudes. We'll go with D. Why do we plan waypoints to pass slightly to the right of distinct features? Is it to keep landmarks visible from the left seat? To stay clear of controlled airspace? To avoid noise? Or reduce your distance? It's to keep the landmarks on your left-hand side so you don't have, your view a blind spot. You keep them, out the left window. Why are there two mags or magnetos in a Cessna? Is it to improve fuel economy, to provide redundancy, to power the avionics, or to supply electricity to the flaps? Redundancy. If one breaks, you have the other one. Right? Your mags don't necessarily improve your fuel economy. It's to provide redundancy, When starting to lean mixture in a 172, what does a rise in RPM indicate? So when you're starting to lean, is it the engine running hot? Combustion efficiency is improving. There was no need, or the throttle is too far open. But once we see the RPM picking up, we now know that the combustion is becoming more efficient because you've gotten the mixture of air and fuel better, so we have more combustion. So that's the answer there. Question 11, we're halfway there. Oh, Jesus. When priming the engine, with the electrical pump, what is the correct sequence? Mixture full rich, pump on, wait, pump off. Mixture idle cutoff, pump on. Mixture full for 5 seconds. Mixture back to cutoff, pump off. Pump on, mixture half leaned, pump off. Or pump on continuously until the engine starts. It's A. You don't just wait for 5 seconds. You might actually have positive fuel within 5 seconds, leading to a failure somewhere. Fuel line, valve, right? So you'd mixture full rich, fuel pump on, you're waiting to see fuel flow, and then turn off the pump. Mixture idle, turn on the pump, mixture for 5 seconds, then mixture back. If the engine is cold, this is another trick question. Mixture idle cutoff, right? Pump on, mixture full, you're checking the fuel, mixture off, pump off. Let's go with B. What is the correct mixture setting before engaging the starter? Well, now, I don't like this because I've been shown the other way. This says idle cutoff. I've been taught mixture rich, then turn the mags. But we know Navigraph are saying, no, it's idle cutoff. I need to have a chat with them over this. Because it's highly probable my instructor was incorrect. It can happen. Humans are wrong. We get things wrong. How long will it take to fly a 10 nautical mile leg at 90 knots in a Cessna? There's different techniques. Yeah. So if we want to fly 10 miles, does anyone remember how to do the math on this? So again, bring up our calculator. So we're going to say 10 nautical miles. And we're going to divide that by the rate of 1.5. 6.6. 6 minutes 20. That's wrong. It should be 6:40. Their math is wrong. It should be 6:40. $6.6246. So it's 6:40. Let's go with that. They're saying 620, but it should be 640. Now, let me see. What should you do if oil pressure does not rise within 30 seconds after starting the engine? Do we continue running the engine and recheck? Do we increase the RPM, shut down immediately to prevent damage, or switch off the avionics to reduce the load? So what do we do if the oil pressure has not risen within 30 seconds? Shut it down. Could you break the engine? There's no oil moving. Yeah. How many fuel tanks are on a Cessna? Where is this now? What's this now? Live restricted for some item. Your live contains themes that some may find uncomfortable and has restricted dangerous activities and challenges. Wait, what? Your live is flagged for dangerous activities. Repeating violations could result in your live. What is this all about? TikTok's being yeah. TikTok, are you taking the Dennis Hickey out of us? This is like learning stuff. Very strange. Anyway, how many fuel tanks does the Cessna 172 have? Think about it, right? We have a left, we have a right, but there isn't a center, as in a separate center. The center is drawing fuel from both, yeah? So we do have one in each wing. So is it one in the fuselage, two, one in each wing? Is it three? We got two in the wing tanks and one fuselage, or four, one in each corner of the wings, right? We have two fuel tanks in the Cessna, right? Two. That sounds very strange. I don't know why TikTok thinks it's like, you're mad. Anyway, we have two fuel tanks. What happens if the mixture is left full rich at higher cruise altitudes? Engine runs more efficiently. The fuel may not fully combust, reducing power. Aircraft gain speed or prevents engine shock cooling. So what happens if the mixture is left full rich at higher cruise altitudes? Well, the fuel may not fully combust because the mixture is wrong. Yeah. Why is crossing the Alps at minimum safe altitude not practical in the Cessna? Is it because of lack of GPS navigation? Is it altitude requires oxygen and exceeds the comfortable aircraft performance? I would think so. No radio contact or Innsbruck procedures prohibits it. Well, they're not necessarily talking Innsbruck. Altitude requires, higher altitude might require oxygen, and it does exceed the comfort limit of a Cessna 172. So we'll go with that. What powers the aircraft's electrical system once the engine is running? Is it the main battery? Is it the alternator, the standby battery, or the magnetos? Ooh. What powers the aircraft's electrical systems once the engine is running? 3 was way too many viewers, right? Like the alternator driven by the engine, but we also know that the mags can control, the mags are also controlling stuff there as well. Yeah. That's a good one. That there is a good one. Let's go back. So if we were to go to our Cessna. So the mags, the engine drives the alternator, supplying electricity to the aircraft systems, right? Knew that. The mags produce their own electricity, and they're engine driven. They're independent of the alternator. So the idea behind the mag's main job is going to be the spark plugs. Yeah. So the alternator is driven by the engine. That gives electrical systems power. Yeah. Hey, Lord Freed is here. Good to see you, buddy. Why is visual navigation still emphasized in training despite modern GPS availability? GPS is banned for student pilots, or it builds core skills in map reading, timing, and situational awareness. Visual navigation is faster, or GPS are rarely accurate? Well, it builds the core skills in map reading, timing, and situational awareness. Of course it does. Flying at 120 knots, how many nautical miles per minute would the Cessna cover? Think about it. If you're flying at 120 knots per hour, How many miles per minute does the Cessna do? So you're now doing 120 knots. So if you're doing 120 knots per hour, right? How many are you doing per minute? Strap is here. Good to see you. You too, wouldn't it? You do 60. If you're doing 60 nautical miles an hour, therefore you're doing 1 mile per hour. If you're doing 120 nautical miles an hour, well, then you're doing 2 nautical miles a minute. That makes sense? Can you imagine flying and your GPS stopped working? You couldn't fly. Yeah, you'd be finished. Yeah. 2 nautical miles. This is the end of the exam, right? Are you sure you want to submit it? Yeah, go on. Did we get it? Oh, we did! Brilliant! Course completed. You have passed the virtual PPL course. Ah, brilliant! Excellent. View the exam results. Did we get them right? Virtual PPL, we got 95%. Our cross, I don't get it. Cross-country navigation, we got 1 wrong. Uh-oh. There we go. 90 and 95%. I'm happy out with that. Didn't we do well? Let's download that little ticket there now. Asha, this is brilliant. We have a virtual PPL pilot ticket thingamajig, and we've passed the course. Fantastic. Look at that. There we are now. And brilliant. Fantastic. We've passed it, lads. We're now a holder of a virtual PPL. Date of issue was today, February the 12th in the year of 2026. Great news. So an overall look at how we did for that course, right? Introduction, effects, climbs and descents. That was our lowest score, right? But overall, we did well. Congratulations, pilot. You have officially earned your wings. Completing your virtual pilot private license is no small feat. By flying every lesson, passing both exams, and demonstrating true pilot discipline, you've proven you have what it takes to think and fly like a professional pilot. This license is more than a certificate. It is a symbol of skill, dedication, and perseverance. It shows you've gone through and passed a realistic flight training course. From here on, know that you've built a strong foundation and you are ready to continue exploring the wonderful world of aviation. Enjoy your future flights, pilot. From Martin. Brilliant. No excuses now for me dodgy landings. 100%. I gotta say, that course is great, man. The Navigraph Academy, like, we're 11 weeks doing this. We're 11 weeks, right? It's been so much fun. Brett Plays, good to see you, man. Welcome in, and welcome in, Raiders. Jesus, welcome in, Raiders. Brett, you have an awful lot of people rambling in. Good afternoon, everyone. You're very welcome. We're here doing our Navigraph Academy. It's a virtual private pilot license. We've just completed it, and we got our fancy new card, look, right, printed out and handed into nightclubs. Look what I have. Yeah, right. But we've covered quite a bit. Like, if we look at the entire course catalogue, we've completed everything on the virtual PPL side. We're going to be waiting now for the next syllabus, which is going to be instrument flying, right? And then we're going to go into IF4 approaches, which is pretty cool, right? Yeah, lots, Brett. I hope you're well, buddy. Hope you had a great stream. Welcome in, everyone. Hope you're having a grand old day. And yeah, you're very welcome in. We've been flying in Microsoft Flight Sim, completing our virtual PPL course. We've done this now, as I said, over the last 11 weeks, right? And this is a free course. If you're interested in aviation and flight simulation, this is a free course. It works so incredibly well with Flight Sim 2024. If you use other sims like X-Plane or whatever, you can still do it. You just won't have the interaction, if you like, with the course. But you still have access to all the course material. There's tons of tutorial videos, ground school. There's an absolute barrel load of stuff here. And it's all for free, right? It's all for free. And, well, this is the Navigraph Academy. So I'll give you a link to it here. Check it out. It's free, and like, maybe you're just interested in aviation. This will actually teach you quite a bit. The course is so very well put together. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, it was loads of fun. But Brett, you're very kind. Thank you very, very much indeed. There's so many people here. Ah, look, we're on the telly and I have a cold sore as well. Ah, no. Right. But what we're going to do next, we're continuing on with our planning, right? Because, well, we have another flight. And this one is for a flight this evening, right? That we're going to be doing on the VATSIM network. Gibbo, he goes, I just came in to check if you're talking absolute nonsense. Good stuff, carry on. Brilliant. Stream is good, ETS2, and then they update it to 158 5 minutes into your stream. Oh, no way. No way. Matty G, welcome in. Yeah, it's great to see so many people. Lads, if you do like this sort of content, do be sure to hit the like button, and you're very welcome here. The vast majority of what I stream is flight simulation. We do a little bit of trucking as well. We were trucking there, Brett. We drove from Split up to Innsbruck on Tuesday, and I didn't roll it. We just kind of managed to get there on time. It was absolutely great, you know, absolutely great. He's online, so yes, yeah, that works. So our flight tonight on VATSIM, we're going to be taking a Boeing 737. We're going to be flying out of Ontario in California. It's like a big logistics hub. And we're going to be heading over to Albuquerque. So our final leg of the USA tour, it's about a 2-hour flight. Albuquerque International serves as New Mexico's largest airport, set against the dramatic backdrop of the Sandia Mountains. Its high elevation and frequent hot weather make it a great place to experience density altitude. Ooh. Yeah, this, the man's a trucker at heart. Oh, yeah. Brilliant. Albuquerque is home to the Albuquerque International Balloon Fiesta, the largest hot air balloon event in the world, drawing hundreds of balloons and thousands of spectators each and every October. Ooh. So that's what we're going to be doing this evening. So we have information here. We have our sim brief plan. We're going to grab that. We'll say thanks to Navigraph Academy, a great bunch of lads. And in our simulator, well, we're going to load in with the aircraft into the correct locations, and we'll see how all this goes. So I'm not a 777, we're a 737, Murph. 737. There we are. So it's the PMDG 737. Hexplosions is here. Good to see you, buddy. So we're going to be departing out of Ontario. Where am I now, Murph? Los Angeles next to the woods. Here she be. So in terms of where we were parking, where did I park last week? When we landed, we went down this neck of the woods, didn't we? We did. So this is all like general aviation parking. This could be a bit of crack. Oh, we go up here, look. Ramp Dock 6 Alpha. Why not? So that's what we're going to do, right? So let me see. Time of day, it's like 5 o'clock in the morning there. We'll just bring the time of day up a little bit. And we'll load in. So we're going to brief the flight. We're going to look at the routing. We're going to look at the altitudes in which we need to fly. Any of the procedures in and out of the airport. And then check our scenery, check our communications, make sure our radios are working, make sure all our flight controls are working, all that kind of jazz there. All right. So here's our aircraft loaded in, PMDG 737-800 in our own livery, which looks rather nice, right? And well, let's have a quick look here around, and we'll jump into the aircraft and just let it all do its stuff and its things, right? While we're waiting here on the ground, we'll go ahead and get some power. I'm also going to power up my avionics. So Sim App Pro is going to do the ticket here. And I'll show you this view here from this side. So this is me setup in here, right? And it's very elaborate. And what we have, we're using the wind control glare shield, which is basically what you find inside a Boeing 737, right? So that's all running. And we'll get some power in here. We'll go to our overhead. And let's go ahead and get some power in. Lights, power, and let me see. We'll go ahead and get our IRSs into align mode. Ground power. Request the ground power. While we're waiting up here, just get some lights on. That's looking good. Lights all good here. Logo light, wing light, ground power ready to activate. Okay, so there's our ground power coming on. Screens will come to life here now in a moment. Wick Shill, good to see you, buddy. Good morning. Hope you're having a great day. Okay, so as the aircraft is starting to warm up its own systems, we're going to come along and make sure everything else is working, right? Where's that button? So let us go in and look at SimBrief, because this is where it's going to load in our flight details. So we are Firefly 235. This is our own virtual airline. It's like a virtual convoy, but we use this for our aircraft. We're departing out of Ontario, arriving into Albuquerque. We're going to select our aircraft. This will give it the correct profile, altitude, takeoff, all this kind of jazz. That's our routing. So it's about an hour 55 in the sky. Runway 26 right departure. It's planning an arrival into runway 21. That looks good. We're going to generate the flight, and now we're going to go over and check out some things. So we'll go to the VATSIM radar website, but I also want to go to VentuSky. Now, VentuSky is an awesome website for checking the weather. You might have come across things like, you know, the Windy app and all this. I love VentuSky. I think it's great. So we're going to have a look at what's happening. So we're over Ontario, California neck of the woods, which is just around here, right? There's Riverside. There's Ontario. So this is looking at the temperature. So if I bring the time of day a little bit later, come back to me there now. So the time of day tonight is going to be around 8 o'clock Irish time, 2000 Zulu, and that'll be around, you know, 1 o'clock. So the temperature 15 degrees in Ontario, right? And then if we move across to Albuquerque, it's about the same, 15 degrees. And as the day kind of goes on, 15 to 17 degrees. So it's nice. It's quite warm. We now want to check out the wind. The wind is very important for us because that'll dictate how long the flight is going to take, what runways we need to take off and land from, and all that sort of jazz. So the wind in and around Ontario when we're departing, 3 to 6 knots roughly, and there's a bit of crack here. All the wind appears to be coming in from the westerly winds, right? And then when we land into Albuquerque, we're going to be saying, well, what's happening up here? Look, again, westerly winds and kind of 3 to 12 knots. So there's a bit of wind, but that's if we just stay on the ground. We won't be staying on the ground. We're going to go up high altitude. So this is what the wind is doing at high altitude, which is we have a tailwind. So it's going to be about 85 knots, give or take. And that'll give us a nice bit of a tailwind. So that's a tailwind component. Effectively, it's going to shorten the duration of our flight because, well, that's what it does, right? It's heavy wind or high wind. And that's how it looks at altitude. So the wind could be nice and calm on the ground, but, you know, at like 20, 30,000 feet, it's giving it socks, right? And this is real world. And the sim copies this. Right, so now it's a forecast. It's not the exact weather. We're forecasting this, but as we can see, the wind, 85 knots. We're going to have a tailwind the whole way. Brilliant. What about cloud cover? Because we also need to plan for cloud cover. So this evening, there's a bit of cloud around, but we can kind of see where that's moving. There's a bit of a front here we need to watch for, right? So a little bit of cloud, and as we kind of progress Albuquerque, that's going to be socked in. There's full cloud cover here. Now with cloud, usually what comes with cloud? Rain. So we need to watch for any precipitation. So as we look down around, we're not expecting any rain out of California. And as the day progresses, up to 9 o'clock tonight, or even, midnight, now, bit of snow here. More snow up here at the Rockies, but down in Albuquerque, we're not expecting any bad weather in terms of rain or whatnot. Thunderstorms, all that sort of jazz. There's pockets of it around, right, in the clouds, right? We could be getting stormy or storm clouds along the way. But we'll see how we go. It was raining in Albuquerque early this morning. Interesting. Okay, so that's what the weather's going to do. We're expecting westerly winds, a good shot of tailwind, relatively clear skies leaving California and flying into heavy cloud coming on into Albuquerque this evening. So that's kind of our weather briefing done. We have an idea, I haven't chatted a lot here since also watching on Twitch. That's okay, Crafty. No worries, buddy. Right, the VATSIM radar. This is basically so VATSIM is virtual air traffic control sim. Right? Simulation. So we're going to be leaving out of Ontario. There's an aircraft here. Who be that? Neil Roberts. Nice. So that's where we are at the moment. We'll connect to the network here now shortly, and then we'll have a look at Albuquerque. And there's an aircraft sitting there as well. All right. So that's all grand. We're going to move this guy over to the other screen. And what we're going to do, we're going to connect to the VATSIM network to make sure that all is well. So we're going to fire up vPilot. And hopefully this all connects. While we're waiting for vPilot, we're going to come back over the Navigraph charts that we were using earlier. We're going to unload our flight from today. And then we're going to import our flight from SimBrief, which is going to be Ontario to Albuquerque. Sweet! And here we have our routing when JAL loads in. There we go. So that's what our entire route looks like. And this is where we're going to be studying the charts to make sure that we have our departure procedures correct, our en route element, and then our arrival. And most importantly, we want to be checking out any missed approaches. That is vital for us. If we don't kind of forward plan our missed approach, you could get into a lot of hot water quickly. ATC will be expecting you to know what to do. Now there's a red flag here because it's saying these runways aren't used. Let's not worry about that just yet. So let me see, we're going to go ahead and connect. We're in a 738. And we should be now live in the network. And if I look for radio frequency, the CTAF frequency here is 120.6. 120.6. Go ahead and blast that in. And let's look at our radios down here. 1206, and let's give someone a shout. Ontario traffic, Firefly 235, radio check. We might get someone, we may not get someone.
555, nothing.
Thank you very much. Cool, okay, so our radios are working. So that's speaking with another human on the VATSIM network, which is pretty cool, right? And we get, we get ATC controllers. They be, it's class, right? The whole thing is class. So the scenery here is fine. We flew into it last week, right? So as we're sitting here, let's go in and start looking at our flight briefings, right? So we're here at Ontario. We're expecting a takeoff from, what did we say, 26? 26 right, okay? Which means, just to give ourselves an idea, we're over here at the cargo stand. We're going to be taxiing probably November onto Whiskey and then departing 26 right. Fair enough. Let me see, taxiway restricted to aircraft sizes. So this is where you read the charts just to give you an idea of what's going on later on. Now we have an RNAV departure, so we want to watch for this. So we're going to be off 26 right. Here we are up here. So there's a bit of a procedure to get us out of this airspace safely, and this is what we have to do. So when we take off, it's going to be a left turn over to Seoul, and then we Raji, and then we're down this neck of the woods. So if we're departing, we're going to climb on a heading of 258 degrees to 1,460 feet. Then we do a left turn direct across Seoul at or above 4,000, then it's up to 7,000. So that's our instruction. We need to be able to blast off from the runway. We fly the runway heading until we get to 1,460 feet. We then make a hard left, continue to climb, and we want to expect to be at Seoul at or above 4,000 feet. Expect a runway change later, but based on the weather, we shouldn't. It's westerly winds, right? They might change it, but, they may not. So that's fairly straightforward. We get down to this neck of the woods, and then we can see it from here on the map. So there's Seoul, Reggie, Elbow, Ardy, Peeler, Meatball, and then Avery. From Avery then we continue on. We got a couple of waypoints. We have a VOR here. Stay going. And now we're looking at our arrival, right? Your star. So it's going to be over the Albuquerque VOR. It's the Gallup VOR. Right, and we're expecting to land on runway 21. So let's see if we can select an approach for runway 21. We have an RNAV for 21. I don't think we have an ILS for 21, have we? We're coming in from NODME. So there's an ILS 03, runway 21, ILS. Okay, so it's the RNAV 21. We're going to add that to the route. Okay. So this is what our arrival looks like. So we're planning runway 21. Okay. We're going to be coming in from... Where are we coming in from? Nodme and Kiefer. Right? There's the Gallup VOR. So we're coming in this way. The Gallup VOR, Bucky, Western, Lobo. From Lobo, it's Jocklo, iTune, and then Paseo. There's Nodme here, look. Okay, so from iTune, on track 097 degrees over to, what's that, Sudnix? And then on track 097 to Paseo, on track 97 to Nodme, expect RNAV approach or radar vectors into final, right? In real life, 2-1 is shut, they're only using 08. Okay, well, we'll plan for 2-1 and then we'll look at 08 then as well, just in case, so we can plan it. So that gets us into the airspace of the airport. Then we want to do our RNAV approach. So we can see, right, we're going to be coming in from Nodme, and this is how we enter it. Cagney, Teener, and then runway 21. Now, runway 21 is going to be facing us into the wind. Failing that, our other options here, again, we can look at the airport to get an idea. 26 is probably going to be more realistic if this runway is closed, right? So if it's going to be 26 we're using, again, there shouldn't be much of an issue. While we're here, we'll just have a look at the missed approach, just to give us an idea. If we miss our approach, we're going to climb back up to 8,000 feet, on track 214 to Humku, right turn at Watma, and then on track to the Albuquerque VOR. So it's kind of straight up and around and hold. That's fairly straightforward, right? Let's change the runway for the sheer crack of it. Let's go runway 26. So if we're saying, right, we're now going to go runway 26, and we'll look at the approach. So again, we can go an RNAV 26 from Nodme. So it's slightly different. Nodme, Dawab, Zabco, Kernel, Zoomix, and then in. Okay. The missed approach if things go wrong here. Climb straight, 8,000 on track, and hold. So the missed approach, just keep flying the runway heading, intercept the VOR, and hold. Very straightforward, right? If the runway goes the opposite direction, which it might, runway 8. Well, let's have a look. Runway 8, let's look at our approaches. There's an ILS, so we're going to be coming in from the Gallup VOR. The Lobo 3, so where would that bring us, right? The Lobo 3 will probably bring us from Nodme. I don't think it will, actually. From Chemstar? We'd want to be coming in at Chemstar, I suppose. So we'll go with that one. Okay. Again, this looks fairly straightforward. From Lobo, that doesn't change. Here's Lobo, right? And then we're going to be heading in. Again, it's going to be iTune. If we're going for runway 8, from iTune on track over to Musk, then it's over to Donald, then it's over to Camstar. Is it Camstar? And then expect vectors. This is what she's looking like. 8,000 feet. The Albuquerque VOR. ILS. What's our missed approach? It's going to be climb to 5,800 feet. Climbing right, turn to 8,000 feet, direct to the Albuquerque VOR. So it's a fly the runway heading. As we're climbing, start turning right. You're doing a full 180 and you're heading back to the Albuquerque VOR to hold. Fairly straightforward. And you can see that routing there in orange. See that? And all the dots. They're saying, well, that's where you're going to hold. And ATC will look after us from that matter. If ATC don't look, if there is no ATC, we kind of self-vector this. All right. So I'm happy enough with that. It's relatively straightforward. Either way, our star doesn't change, right? The Lobo 3 arrival. So then it's only a matter of figuring out, well, where it is we need to go, right? Now, our alternate airport is Roswell. So where be Roswell? Miles over here, look. Now that's a bit Irish, but again, if you had to use our alternate airport, it's possibly because of weather. You know, I mean, we could easily. I don't know what you could do. I mean, you could. To be honest, I don't know what you do. They want to head us down there. It's misty there at the moment, even though it's VFR conditions. Yeah, it looks fairly straightforward. Okay, I'm happy enough with our routing and what the flight is going to do. I'm happy enough with our scenery, right? Here's our airport, the Ontario in California, right? And you can see the weather here, it's misty. So what we're going to do now, we're going to load into Albuquerque and make sure that everything's working over there, right? So that's the next little bit of our jigsaw, and we'll see what happens. So Albuquerque, there's a disconnect from VATSIM, that's okay. There's Phoenix, Sedona, Albuquerque. Now, where is it we want to be going here? That's cargo. So I would say there's a bit of cargo here though, isn't there? Military cargo. Okay, we'll stay down here at the cargo side. All right, let's launch us into here and let's see what happens. It's amazing, like the hour you spend with a little bit of planning, it makes all the difference. Because when you go to do the flight then, there's no real surprises there, you know what I mean? Okay, UPS cargo HUD and Fed or hub. English Murphy can do it. Okay. So this is live time and weather here at the moment. It's dawn here at the moment, right? So we'll do the same crack again. Get some power into the aircraft. Ground ops. Power coming in. Emergency lighting. There's some lights. Logo. Ground power on. IRS alignment. Got our wing lights on here as well. And that's all looking tickety-boo. Right. Systems will come to life here now in a moment. And now we need to check out the facility. Alright. So, Albuquerque. I remember the Mr. X Albuquerque scenery back in X-Plane. Jeez, used to be brilliant. Used to be brilliant. So, we'll have a look at our arrival runway and then see where it is we're trying to get to. Right. So, if it is going to be runway 8, that was over here. There's runway 8. If it's going to be 26, it's over there. And if it's going to be 21, it's going to be over here. We would much prefer runway 21 for a shorter taxi because we're down here at the cargo ramp. Yeah? We would very much prefer that. But listen, we mightn't get it, right? So what I'm doing here, just getting familiar with kind of the layout of the airport. We're also kind of building the shader cache, right? So we don't have any stutters. You know what I mean? Time for me to raid and run. It's 12:30 midnight already. Brett, thank you very, very much indeed, buddy. Have a lovely evening. Thank you very much indeed for the raid. And yeah, we'll see you soon, man. We'll see you soon. The tower here. Well, you have a military side of the fence here now as well, haven't you? Oh, wow. Check out the Ospreys. Ooh. A few Ospreys parked up there. So that's the military cargo ramp. Fair enough. That's fairly straightforward. All right. So where is the civilian? Oh, that's the civvy side. So hang on, is Albuquerque controlled by the military in terms of the ATC? I wonder. Here's the civilian side of the fence. There's our scenery load in here. There we go. I only see the one control tower, like. Strange LOD here, isn't it? Okay, there's all our gates and stands and stuff. They're all looking good. Inside the terminal, it's modelled. People sitting down having an ale cup of tea. As you do. Okay. It's fairly good performance here. It doesn't seem to be Doesn't seem to be kind of coughing or spluttering or you know what I mean? There's Atlantic Aviation. All right, lads, I think we're good. I think we're good. So flight time, we're expecting about 2 hours. We'll go into our flight plan here now just to make sure we know everything about it. But this all looks pretty good to me. Just, it's a beautiful part of the world, isn't it? Look at the mountains there, look. Absolutely stunning. Gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. Right, inside in the plane, it's doing plane things. We'll come over here now and have a look at our flight plan. Let's have a look. So our sim brief, let's have a look. We're going to be cruising at 350. Let's go in and have a look at our actual flight plan, right? No, to FAA operates the tower. The FAA do it. All right, okay. Right, what are we looking at here? Let's have a look. So, cruise cost index is going to be 14. Our routing is okay. And then we're going to look for our maximum altitude. So we were saying 350. It doesn't go higher. 350, it's going to be minus 52 degrees up there. And we're going to be getting a tailwind component. Nice. We like having a tailwind. So, cost index 14, route distance, average winds along the way, 228 and 9 or 5. So 228 degrees, 9 or 5. It's fantastic. Wind component, 77 knot tailwind. We'll take it. We'll take it. Let me see. AIRAC is okay. LIDAR chart, units and kilos. That's all fine. Passenger count. Well, we're cargo, so don't worry about that. Block fuel 7.4. We'll probably go with a little bit more. We can add contingency fuel, just in case there's like delays and whatnot. But we'll worry about that later. So that's our routing for our flight tonight. Now, everyone you're more than welcome to fly along with us tonight. If you're on VATSIM, brilliant. If you're not on VATSIM, just fly along. You can also use say intentions. You know, we do have a lot of options when it comes to flying online. Awesome sauce. We're looking good. So this flight will start this evening at 2000 Zulu time, right here. Yeah, as I said, we're going to be flying in the Boeing 737. This guy, as we fly out of California, heading into the east. It's going to be very, very cool. Very cool. Sunjammer says there's a killer restaurant by the airport. It says serves hot barbecue steaks. Ooh. Always talking about food. We now need food or something. Do you know? It'd be lovely. But yeah, that's kind of where it's all at. Pretty cool, right? So let's have a gawk over here. So our Navigraph is set up for tonight's flight. That's what we need, right? What else do we need? That's all good. That's all good. That's all good. Yeah, I think we're kind of sorted, lads. Just Roy, good to see you, buddy. Hope you're well. Happy Thursday, man. I'm just trying to think, is there anything else we need to worry about? I don't think so. We're doing this flight in Microsoft Flight Sim 2024. I'll probably jump into a bit of X-Plane next week, right? Because there's a couple of new aircraft there I want to kind of give a blast, including the Tolus A340. But for tonight, we're definitely prepped. We have all of our stuff working with our hardware. Oh, do you know what I didn't do? Good old GSX. Make sure this is working. Do-do-do-do-do. Okay, so it gets rid of the PMDG stuff and it'll be replaced by GSX. Right. So eat there on the way out of the airport, not on the way to the airport. 100%. Lucas, good to see you, buddy. Just scrolling through, but have a nice day. Greetings from Germany. Thank you very much indeed. Greetings from Tipperary in Ireland. Have a great day. Right. That's kind of our plan of attack. I'm just making sure that I've no issues with GSX, because you know what way GSX goes, you know? There's some new options added in Chaseplane. I think they threw in a few bits. There was an update to it, Roy. I haven't really noticed. Southwest. Added control assignment, added controls to go to first view, added a reset. Like, there's a lot of stuff improved. There's more improvements than anything else, and a ton of fixes. You know, we've a ton of fixes in it, so yeah, we're not too bad. We watch this happen. Someone at my door. But Yeah, no, chase plane should be working fine. GSX is working fine. There's all our vehicles coming along for loading and unloading the aircraft. So yeah, we should be good. Right, lads, that's going to do it for the Zavo. But as I said, we're back in about 6 hours and 20 minutes time when we're going to do this actual flight, which is going to be Ontario over to Albuquerque. We've had a productive day. We have completed our virtual PPL training with Navigraph Academy. We passed it, which is great news. And I highly recommend that to anyone. Just give it a shot. It's so much fun. And you learn a ton. You learn a lot of stuff, and it's free. Right, it's a no-brainer. It's free. So, right, that's it for a few hours. We'll be back later on to do this flight. We also have a group flight then tomorrow evening. We're flying over the Pyrenees in a Cessna Corvallis, which should be a bit of crack, do you know? But, right, that's it. To everyone who tuned in today, lads, thank you all so very much indeed. Have an awesome afternoon. To the hundreds of people who showed up on YouTube, with thanks to Brett. Thank you very much indeed for sticking by. And, well, you're most welcome here. And, again, thanks to Brett for bringing the crew over. And to everyone else, lads, I'll see you in a couple of hours. Get ourselves all ready to rock for our flight tonight on VATSIM, where hopefully we don't make a complete and utter fool of ourselves. It could happen. You know, we'll just do it for the crack. But, right, have an awesome day. See you later. Straight away. Do you like me, Podge and Raj? You ever see Podge and Raj, did you?
I've all me own teeth. Axe the back of me sack.
Jesus, I didn't think you'd say that. Right, anyway, that's enough of them. Right, we'll get into it anyway, will we? Come on over here with me. Don't be that curious. It's not, no. Oh. Did you see what happened to Kane? He just bounced off it. Please, somebody clip just that. Kane Lafford flew into the side at 100 knots. He just literally bounced off it and ended up over here. Someone has to clip that, lads. Kane Lafford came straight in.
Do you need a hand?
No, we don't need it. Do I need a hand?
It's heavy, yeah? Jesus, Murph!
Trying to turn. And we'll start advancing that mixture back in here now shortly. Come on, prop.
Sink rate.
You're alright.
Sink rate.
Yeah.
Up. Sink rate.
Give us a bit of air in the nose there. Nearly. Come on, Betsy, you can do it.